Good morning, students. Hope you all are fine and safe at home. Okay. And I also hope that you all are completing your workbooks and classwork books as given to you. So today we'll start with standard 5 subject EVS 2. Okay, EVS part 2. We are going to start this with the first lesson, page number 1. What is history? As I am reading this lesson, you all have to take your textbooks and as well as your pencil along with you, because if you find any word difficult or a meaning, I will be explaining to you. So you write any meaning if you feel it difficult. Okay. So we'll start with the lesson now. First lesson, what is history? See, the points that are given to you, 1.1, 1.2, 3, 4, these all are the points which we will see in this lesson. So I'll start directly with the first point, history. A science that tells us about the events in the past. History is a science that tells you about the past. Last year in standard 4, we studied the life of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and his mission of establishing Swaraj. The time before the birth of Shivaji Maharaj was about 400 years before now, or in the other words, the time 400 years ago. See, I just read the first paragraph. What is being said in this first paragraph, that in the last year, that now you are in 5th, but in 4th standard you might be remembering that, see, you have studied about Shivaji Maharaj, the life of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and how he established Swaraj in Maharashtra. Okay, that you have studied in standard 4. For our convenience, we divide time in different ways. Often we use words like now, some time ago, after some time, or today, yesterday, tomorrow, or this year, next year, etc. All these words, you use these words when you speak about time, or you have to tell someone about the time. When we use these words, we are actually measuring time in our mind. See, whenever we use these words, that today, tomorrow, after some time, when we use these words, what are we doing? We are actually calculating time in our minds. Now, today and this year are the terms that indicate the present. See, whenever you use these three words, which are the three words? Now, today and this year. These are the terms when you use when you are telling someone about the present. Some time ago, yesterday and last year are the terms that indicate the past. See, whenever you use these three words, which are these three words? Some time ago, yesterday and last year. When you use these three words, you speak about the past. After some time, tomorrow and next year. These are the terms when you use to speak about the future. Whenever you use these three words, you are speaking about the future. The time that has already gone by is the past. See, the time that has already gone, it is the past. See, you are attending the school. What is that? It is your past. The time that we are in now is the present. The time that is going on now, that I am teaching and you are listening, this is the time which we are in present, which we are doing. And the time that is yet to come is the future. Tomorrow what you are going to study, it is called as your future. The past includes many events that has already taken place. See, whenever you speak about the past, what you see, that there are many things or many events which have been done. For example, if you are 10 years old today, it means that the event of your birth happened 10 years ago in the past. Similarly, after 10 years from now, that is in future, you will be 20 years old. See what is being told here now, that if now you are 10 years old, so what does it mean, that 10 years old you are now, so it is the present. But the event that when you were born, that has already been gone. It is the past. So that is your past. Today you are 10 years old, and after 10 years, that is in future, you will be 20 years old. Correct? So the time gone by between today and the day of your birth is your past. The past in the life of a person. See, from when you have born till the date today, the period in that between, how many years, what is that? That is all your past. Now we'll see the next page, page number 2. The science that tries to understand past events is called as the history. See here, the meaning of history is told to us, that the science that helps us to understand each and everything that has happened in the past, it is called as history. The scientific method of history. In this paragraph now we'll see about the scientific method, the correct method of history. In standard 3 and 4, as a part of environmental studies, we have become acquainted with various sciences. Acquainted means to get to know about new topics. See what is being said here, now here, that in standard 3 and 4, as a part of environmental studies, we have gone through many various different topics of sciences. The special characteristic of all these sciences is that their facts or evidence can be tested in experiments which can be repeated anywhere and any time. See what is being told now here, that the special characteristic of all the science, what is that? It is based on all the evidence and all the proof that is provided. The method of using a number of different tests to determine whether the evidence is reliable is called as the scientific method. See, to understand the past, many proofs and many evidence can be provided. But how can we believe in that products? That is it true? All the proofs that have been provided to us, is it correct? So to understand them correctly, that are they correct or no? So that method is called as the scientific method. There are many things that happened since our birth that we may not know about. However, our grandparents or parents or others often tell us amusing stories of our childhood. Amusing stories means very interesting stories. These stories are a part of their memory. However, when different people tell us about the same event, we find difference in their narrations. Now what is being told in this paragraph, that I have just read it to you, and in this paragraph it is being said that, see, whenever you were small or you were a kid, many things you did or many things happened with you. So your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your mothers, fathers, and also your neighbors, they all might have seen you. But whenever all these people tell you the same incident, but what do? They all try to say it in their own way. So you find it difficult to believe on whom. That is your father saying correct, or is your mother saying it correctly, or is your neighbor saying it correctly. That is difficult to you, correct? So to understand that, the scientific method is used to make it clear that which evidence or which proof is the correct one. It makes us wonder which one is right. We need to examine the details of each narration carefully to decide the correctness of the facts. See, when you hear the same story from many people but in different way, what do? You go to the conclusion that you will have to find out. You examine all the details, you hear all the stories, and then you on your own, you have to find out that exactly who is saying the correct one. It is not possible to conduct experiments to recreate the events that have happened in the past. See, the things that have, or the events that have already been done in the past, you cannot again recreate them. You can just recreate them in your minds, but you can't go through it again in the present. Therefore, the method of presenting history is different from that of other sciences. Even so, history uses the scientific method at every stage, namely while looking for and collecting evidence, examining the evidence and while putting it together. See, for this thing only history uses this scientific method to see whether all the information that they have collected, is it true or is it correct for a particular topic. That is why history is considered to be a scientific discipline, because history takes so much care about the proofs and evidence that they get. They do not write it down directly. They examine them properly, that are these proofs correct for the particular topic. For this they use the scientific method, and that is why history is also considered as scientific discipline. History is not written solely on the basis of imagination. See, there is also an important line that history, it is not written by anyone's saying or any page. If you get that whatever is written on that page, people, the history that you study is not written by anyone, or it is not told by anyone. All the stories that have been told in the older days, or all the written proofs that that the scientists have gathered, what do? They all have examined them properly. They have also heard about the stories, they have also got some written notes. They all have combined them together, they have studied them properly, and they come to a conclusion with a proper history. Ancient objects, structures, sculptures, pots, coins, inscriptions, copper plates, books, manuscripts, traditional stories and songs, remember over many generations, etc. are the sources of history. See, I have gone to the next page while reading it. All these things which I have read now, they all are the sources of history. Through all these topics we have got our history. I'll start with page number 3. The sources of history are of 3 types. That is, first one is material sources, second is the written sources, and third is the oral sources. In order to find out what happened in the past and how it happened, evidence available from all these sources is collected and thoroughly examined to determine its reliability. See, what is being said, that in order to find out what has been happened in the past, or whatever we are studying in history from so many years, this information is being provided by material sources, written sources and oral sources. But the people or the scientists, they have not written it directly. They have examined it very thoroughly, means very carefully, and to determine whether it is real or it is fake. With the help of the evidence that stands these tests, past events are put in a proper sequence and a historical account is written. This is the scientific method. See, what is being told, that see, when scientists go through all these proofs, that is the written proof, the oral proof and also the material proof, what do? After the test, all the tests are proven correct, then they put all that in a correct sequence, in the correct order, and it has been written properly, and this is called as the scientific method. Next topic we'll see, history and us. The study of science helps us to find the answers to many questions. For example, environmental science studies the problem of the degradation of the environment, pollution, etc., and looks for their solutions. In the same way, every science has its own areas of study. History studies events of the past. See, now I've read this first paragraph, I'll explain you that the science, the study of the science, it helps us to find the answers of many questions. You know, you study science, it also helps you to find the answers of many questions, like the degradation of the environment. Degradation means the loss that you can see has been caused to the environment, or the pollution, how the pollution is caused or how you can control it. Okay, so these all questions, the answers to all these questions you can find only by studying science. Individual or collective actions of human beings have consequences. See, individual or collective actions. If you do something to the environment or a group of people do something to the environment, so the consequences means the opposite or the worst thing is also being seen. They result in an environment that may be either favorable or unfavorable for the progress of the society. See, it is given the next line that whenever a single person or a group of people do anything to the environment, so what happens, sometimes a good reaction is being seen to you, or sometimes even the bad reactions you have to face. This affects our day-to-day life, and whatever we see, the reaction is in here. Even if it is good reaction or even if it is bad, it affects our day-to-day life. For example, we'll see one example regarding this. If the people of a village work together and help one another, the village makes good process. See, like if a person or a group of people, if they help each other in all their works, what happens? The village starts progressing. However, if the people cannot come together, it puts obstacles in the way of its development. Obstacles means it puts a kind of blockage. See, if you know something and if you know plowing and the person just next to you doesn't know about plowing, so if you help him, he can also start farming or cultivating. But if you do not teach him, so then what will happen? He will not know anything or he can't do farming. History attempts to find out answers to many questions by studying the way of thinking of past societies, their actions and their consequences. See, history, it tries to find out the answers to many questions by studying the past and all the actions and the consequences, means the actions, all the things that have been done by the people and what has it caused the reaction on them, that also it studies properly. The study of history makes it possible for us to study what is and what is not favorable for the progress of human society. See, by the study of history we can also understand what is good and what is not good for our progress. History thus provides us with guidelines about how we should behave today in order to shape a good future. See, history also helps us to show the correct path, and it also helps us how we should behave today in our society so that we can have a good future. By telling us the life stories of great people, history also serves to inspire and to motivate us. See, whenever you study in history about the great peoples or the great saints, so what is history trying to tell us? History is trying to motivate us or putting in good thoughts or good skills into us. So he is trying to tell us these stories about the great peoples. By studying history, we get to know about the give and take that took place between our own and other civilization. See, also by studying history, you come to know that the people in the olden days or in the past days, how they used to take out the process of give and take. So today how we do it, whenever you go to buy something, you have to give money. But in the older days, money was not there. So how did people do? People gave one thing instead of other thing. We learn about the progress of human civilization, and we also come to know how people in the older days stayed and how we are studying together today. We also understand how people's way of life went on changing. Every village, city, district, state and country has its own history. Similarly, the earth, its mountains, water bodies, the animal world, mankind, all have their own history. See, everyone present on the earth, each and every state, village, country, district, or every mankind, animal world, all have their own history. Every science too has a history. It tells us of many scientific discoveries that brought about important changes in human civilization and of the scientists who made those discoveries. See, in science you get to know about the different discoveries that have been made and also about the scientists who have made these discoveries. Next is the past and the future. The past, present and future are linked by a continuous chain of events. For example, the Indian people fought against the British government to get independence. This is a historical action, and as a result, India became an independent nation on 15th August 1947. So we can say that independence was a consequence for an action, that is the Indian people's struggle for independence. See, in this paragraph what is being said, that the past and the future, what is being done from the past till the future, everything has a chain in between. Each and every thing or each and every action is connected to each other. Like the people in the past, what did they do? They fought for a freedom. Correct? They fought for the freedom. That was their action. They were fighting for a freedom. They did one action, and what was its reaction or what was its consequence? That today we have our own freedom. This is all because of the action. They did a good action, so we had a good reaction back. Now we'll see the next page, page number 4. In this way, the events of today are linked with the past action. See, in the same manner, the events that have occurred today have some connection, some of the other connection with the past. When we understand this, we realize that the future depends on the past events. When we understand this, we get to know that the future is dependent on the past events. This is what we learn from history. For example, we learn that man began to make tools from materials available in nature, and he learned how to make use of fire, and that he invented the wheel. See, in the older days, first in the very early age, man did not know to invent tools or to invent fire. Then he started inventing the tools with all the materials that were available in the nature. He also learned how to make use of fire. The next generation added to these developments. Technology developed further hand in hand with the physical and intellectual development of man. This process is going on continuously even today. Inventions of today are only possible on the foundation of the discoveries and inventions of the past. See, I've read this paragraph, and I'll explain you now that by this paragraph we come to know that whatever is happening in the future is dependent on the events or the things that have been taken place in the past. Like in the olden days, man only invented some tools with the help of the nature, and before that he even did not know how to make tools or how to cook his food on fire or how to invent fire. Slowly he started doing all this. After that, when he invented fire, then he started cooking his food on that fire slowly. And due to all these, in today's day, see, now we have the gas stove, we have cars and motorcycles, mobiles. But even after these, what is happening? Our technology is improving more and more. And why is it happening? It is all happening because of the past events. Okay? Now, see, we have finished with the lesson, and all the question answers that are given to you on page number 4 and 5. All these question answers will be provided to you in the end of this video. You have to complete your workbook and also your school note.